Yes, it's so wonderful to have all of you here in the space. Welcome. And I'm so excited that this was actually something that spoke to you, that sparked something within you. And you were like, I need to come and see what this is all about. Because, what I'm about to share with you this evening is something that I'm so passionate about. And I'm fortunate to actually know each and every one of you who have come into this call so far. So you will know that I've had a lifelong passion for unlocking human potential and supporting people in their goals, in their dreams, in living up to their highest potential. So tonight, I'm going to talk about what it takes to move from being a visionary leader to being a luminary leader, to being the kind of leader that is a way shower for others and one that can shine their light bright. A leader who knows themselves so intimately, because as we know, in order to lead others, we need to lead ourselves first. And I'm very excited about this concept, the system that I'm going to be introducing you today. So let's get into it. Okay, so now we all know that we are living in unprecedented times, right? There's so much that is happening in the world. We've got technology advances. AI is taking over the world. Unfortunately, we're experiencing war and political issues all across the globe. Financial markets are crashing. The world is changing. And this new era, this new time that we live in, it needs a new kind of leadership. And so we know that beyond the strategies, beyond having a vision and beyond striving in life, that there is a deeper truth that empowers us as leaders. And that truth is that true leadership, it's a continuous journey of self-discovery, personal transformation, evolution, and mastery. So you are as unique as your fingerprint. There is literally no one else on this planet that is like you. No one before you, no one after you. So you are as unique as your fingerprint. So why live? Why work? Why create success? Why sustain success like everybody else when you are so unique? So if you're here today, and whether you are sitting at a point in your life where you are about to make a career pivot, or perhaps you are at that stage where you just know that you want to expand. There's something within you that's stirring, that's saying something needs to shift or change within me, within my life, within my career, maybe even in my relationships. Perhaps you are navigating a major life transition, or just have that feeling of a deep inner calling that there's more to you, there's more to your life. So in this session, I'm going to guide you towards one of your most powerful assets that most people overlook in their journey of leadership. And this is the genius that is encoded in your DNA. So just a little bit about me. So I am originally from Cape Town. I've spent many, many years living in Johannesburg. I'm in the process of relocating to Amsterdam. And then I also have London as a base where I do quite a lot of work. So I'm quite a global citizen. I like to travel around. And the lifestyle that I'm building is one that is quite global. So I used to work at Microsoft and Amazon Web Services in sales and business development. And I've got over a decade experience in business development and then also personal and leadership development. So also back in the days, in my younger days, I was a co-founder of the Dream Girls Academy and also Dad Fund, and was quite privileged and honored to impact over 25,000 youth across South Africa with different education, entrepreneurship, and internship programs. And then I do hold an international MBA. I'm also certified in neuro-linguistic programming and a whole host of other energy, healing, and mastering modalities. And then also I've been widely recognized by Fast Company, Mail and Guardian, and Entrepreneur Mag. So that's just a little bit about me and where I've come from. But most of all, how I really see myself is that I am a midwife of new beginnings. So I guide and I usher visionaries into their next era, the next chapter in their life. So whether that is a new career, a new job, a new business, a new country, I really specialize in guiding leaders through the process of doing the deep inner work of what is truly required to align your life, your career, your goals, your relationships, and your health to the highest expression of who you are at a very deep and soul level. For most of us, we've created lifestyles, we've created careers that was based on what the world told us was right, or that was the only way to success. But what I have discovered on my journey is that actually the more you align with your natural essence, the more you align with who you are at your very core, that you can create aligned success from that place. And so this is what I'm really going to be taking you through today. What we're going to be covering in the session today is I'm going to talk about visionary leadership and luminary leadership, the next elevation of leadership, and the steps that you can take to unlock your next level of potential. I'm going to talk about the sacred signal, how to know when you are sitting at that edge of the next chapter in your life. And if you are in a place where you're feeling stuck, or you're uncertain, or you're not just sure, that this is actually a really, really good and powerful thing, because it means that you are getting ready for something new to emerge in your life. I'm going to introduce you to the gene keys and how this profound system, it activates higher levels of your purpose and your genius, and how you can actually bring that out into the world. And then I'm going to take you through the 4 spheres of the gene keys, which actually reveal to you your highest leadership frequency and also your highest prosperity frequency, how you are best aligned to create the type of leadership, the impact, and the lifestyle that you are meant to create. I'm also going to show you how you can use this energetic blueprint to plan your next move. So whether that is a career move, a leadership business move, and so forth. And then lastly, for those of you who feel called to go deeper into what I'm going to be sharing with you this evening, I will share with you about the luminary leader activation and how you can work with me. Okay, so before I begin, I'll share with you a little bit about how I went from being a tech sales leader to a global luxe healer. And, this journey of actually discovering the gene keys started for me back in 2018. I was at a place in my life where, I was working for a global tech firm. I had a great job. I had my nonprofit organization that was doing well. So I was making an impact in the world. I was engaged at the time. And from the outside, my life actually looked quite successful. But on the inside, something just didn't feel right to me. When I was radically honest with myself, and I asked myself, this relationship is it really the truest and the highest expression for me? Or am I choosing to get married just because that's what you do at the age of 32 or 33? I asked myself, being in a big corporate and a very, very good company and a great team, if that was really the highest alignment for me in terms of what I'm here to bring forward into the world and my purpose and my service. And similarly, even though I had built a nonprofit organization that was, making a positive impact in the country and the world, something within me was telling me that there was more to life, that in some shape or form, I had almost settled in a way. And so how this started to transpire in my life is that my health actually started to take a knock, because I realized that I wasn't speaking my truth. I wasn't living my truth. I was just getting up every morning, going to work, not really asking for what I want and need in my relationship, and just going about in life until everything eventually came on its head. And I just realized I actually can't do this anymore. And I woke up one morning and I was just like, yes, this is a great life, but I know that I'm here for more. And this isn't it. And I'm settling in my life. And so I made a very difficult decision and I resigned from my job. I decided to leave my engagement, my partner at the time. It wasn't a healthy relationship. And so I decided to make the decision to let that go. And and I also just knew, I didn't know what was coming next, but my health started to really take a knock, and I had all type of symptoms, and I would go to the doctor and get blood tests and urine tests and x-rays and everything, and I would always get a clean bill of health. I thought to myself, well, this is very strange, you know. Eventually, at my wit's end, I started doing more research, and I actually saw a woman who was a bit of an intuitive, and she said to me, actually, you need to look at adrenal fatigue and autoimmune diseases. And when I actually went home that day, I Googled adrenal fatigue, and lo and behold, I actually realized that I had all of the symptoms. And once I knew what I was actually dealing with, I then knew, okay, now I know how to heal myself. And I went on this incredible journey. But now when I look back on my life, what was happening was that I was actually moving through a spiritual awakening. And a spiritual awakening is when you actually wake up. It's like you kind of wake up and you just realize, and you look at your life and you start asking yourself very important questions. Who am I? Why am I here? Did I take this career because that is really what is good for me? Or did I fall into this career because I was told that this is the route to success? You know, so really asking myself, why am I friends with these friends? Why am I doing these things? Have I just woken up to a life that I was programmed to live? Or is this an opportunity for me to really get radically honest about what I want and what I need in my career and in my life, and design a life that is really in alignment with the highest expression of my soul? And so that was really where this journey started for me. And I stumbled across the gene keys and human design, very, very profound systems. And what I learned in that process was I learned about my energy type and how I am structured to work. I learned about certain gifts that I have and a certain leadership aspect that was never ever covered, you know, in personality tests before. And when I started using these tools like human design and gene keys, and I started putting them into practice into my life. And at the time I was still working in corporate, and I started living in accordance with my gene keys and in my human design. And what happened, so I used to be in sales. So I used to, you know, be able to earn a quarterly commission. And when I started making these changes in the way that I work, based on my human design and my gene keys, I started hitting like 300% revenue sales attainment in my sales role, which was like, whoa, out of this world. But, you know, often when we talk about success, we talk about those tangible metrics. And so it wasn't really about the money, but it was also about who I was becoming in the process. You know, stepping up into new levels of my personal power, releasing stress and overwhelm, releasing addictive behaviors, codependent behaviors, releasing anxiety. And that is what the system does for you. It always gives you what you need. It shifts your blind spots and your shadows and those limitations out of the way so that you can really blossom and bloom into that next chapter of your life. So, what is luminary leadership? Now, this term actually came to me, was in October, November last year, when I just got the intuitive hit that it's time for me to move. And I just decided to go to Amsterdam because I knew that being in a fresh energy, in a new city, in a different environment, it would inspire new thinking. And so this term luminary leadership came through to me, and I have been working with this. And this is a type of leadership, the new type of leadership that is required for now and going into the future. It's a leadership that transcends traditional models of authority and influence. It's visionary, it's conscious, and it's rooted in a deep understanding of oneself. You know, when you work with personal development, we use the term know thyself, because the more you know yourself at a deeper level, the more you can actually guide others authentically, the more you can create a lifestyle that is true for you, and the more you can kind of live your life in alignment with your higher purpose. And so luminary leaders are able to look inward, uncover their fullest potential, and from that place, guide teams, companies towards transformative growth. So luminary leaders, they don't just manage, they illuminate and they create new pathways of possibility. They don't just strategize, they inspire. And they don't merely lead, they evolve. And when we do this as luminary leaders, we drive new innovation, we enhance organizational cultures, and we create lasting legacies in the world. So if we look at what a visionary leader is, which all of you are, because you wouldn't have been drawn to this presentation if you were not a visionary leader. But a visionary leader is driven by big picture thinking, bold ambition, the power to create and really manifest your dreams into reality. Visionary leaders, they build empires, they create movements, they are catalysts for positive change in the world. And even though many visionary leaders are successful on paper, many of them also struggle with being internally misaligned and often can find themselves at crossroads, feeling stuck, feeling stagnant, unfulfilled, despite all that they have achieved. And so the luminary leader transcends ambition. They don't just lead with strategy, but they are also leading with presence, with intuition, with the mastery of their gifts and their superpowers, and with their energy, their unique energy and the essence that they are meant to bring into the world. They are magnetic forces whose influence extends far beyond material success, and they invite others to step into a higher consciousness and authentic, empowered leadership. They don't just strategize, they radiate purpose, and they don't merely lead, but they embody brilliance. And so let's talk about the sacred signal. So how to know if you are on that edge where you know that an upgrade is underway in your life. And now, firstly, this starts with a very deep inner knowing, a knowing that it's time for change. It's time for something different. And so here are a few signs. So you could feel like what used to inspire you, what used to light you up, it no longer does. You may feel like you have outgrown an old identity. Maybe you've outgrown spaces, friends, certain habits or things that you used to do, and it's just no longer a fit for you. So you feel like you are in a void or in a liminal space, maybe a little bit in limbo, like what is my next, and not having a clear answer of what that is. You may be feeling tired. It's a very, very deep type of tiredness because it's actually the exhaustion that comes from carrying things that are no longer aligned for you. You may feel like you are craving more soul, more spaciousness, more meaning in your life. You are experiencing divine discomfort, sitting on the edge, knowing that it's time for you to shake and move. So you may find yourself that you are being drawn into deeper work, personal development work. Maybe you're looking into spiritual systems or contemplative practice. You are drawn, you have other curiosities that you're starting to look into. You may feel the pull to pivot or create or contribute in different ways. And your old habits or coping patterns are cracking. You may feel like you are being asked to lead in a different way. Or you may be in a position where you are experiencing a major life transition. So maybe a retrenchment or going through a divorce or a major illness. These are all signs that you are sitting on the brink of your next edge. And so I want to introduce you to a new paradigm of self-leadership. And this is the process that really takes you from being a visionary leader to a luminary leader. It provides a precise pathway to unleashing your next level genius. So what are the gene keys? So the gene keys is a personal mastery system. It's for soul awakening and it's for illumination. It shines a light on your gifts and it really shows you the pathway to embodying your higher self. So it's a tool that helps you to unlock the treasures that lies in your DNA and how you can step into your higher potential. It provides you with a unique framework and a roadmap to understand your underlying motivations in life, your underlying patterns, your unique path, and then embodying how to embody your higher self. And when you live as an actualized version of yourself, it propels you forward into a path of greater fulfillment, purpose, love, well-being, and prosperity. So what is self-actualization? Now, many of you will know the term self-actualization, which comes from Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's basically for the people where, you've studied, you've got the career, you had the relationship, you've got the house, you're grounded, and you may be wondering, but what's next? There's more. The way I see self-actualization is that it's all about living up to your full potential and making the most of your life, so that at the end of your life, you know that you used everything that you had to live the most beautiful, expansive, impactful life ever. And so in a moment, I'm going to show you what the gene keys looks like. But before we get there, it is a journey. And when I show these gene keys to you, it will reveal that every single person on the planet have 11 qualities that really represent their most highest self. So this is you at the zenith, at the pinnacle of all of your potential. Most people will only go through life using 10% of their brain and 2% of their DNA. And what we know about DNA today is that 98% of your DNA is dormant DNA, which means that you have the potential to actually switch on those deeper parts of yourself. And Gene Keys is one way that can support you to switch on your greater potential. So in these 11 qualities that you're going to see with the Gene Keys, every quality that we have has a shadow aspect to it. So this is us at our ego self, at our lower self, probably when we are stressed, how we immediately react, respond to things, or when we are unconscious of that side within us. The shadow quality also represents where we have blind spots in life, where we have self-sabotaging patterns, the ability to actually keep ourselves back from our full potential. Now, that same quality, whilst it has a shadow, it also has the gift. It's like the other side, the flip side of the same coin. And your gift quality is your higher self. So this is your positive higher expression or the potential when you are really living in alignment with your gifts. And then there's the 𝗁𝗲 quality, and this is like your higher divine self. So when you learn to master your gifts and your superpowers, you unlock your 𝗁𝗲, which is like the highest expression of your soul and what you are meant to bring into this world. And then in your gene keys, you also have a line. And so every line adds a nuanced layer to your gene key. And it illustrates how this energy actually affects your life and how you are meant to embody this energy for greater success. So before we actually go into the gene keys, we work with the gene keys approach. This is how you unlock and tap into your next level potential. There are 4 principles that support you in understanding and unlocking your gene keys. So number 1, it's the art of contemplation. The art of contemplating certain aspects about yourself, about your life, and every area of your life, because as we know, the first step to changing anything in your life is awareness thereof. And so usually when we want answers or when we want guidance in life, we are very quick to look outside of ourselves, to ask someone to guide us or to expect something or someone to show us the way. With the art of contemplation, the gene keys takes you into yourself so that you can ask yourself profound questions and then start living the answer. So the second principle that we're working with the gene keys is inquiry, self-inquiry. Again, asking yourself very important questions. And what often happens is that you may ask yourself questions, and in that moment, you may not have the answer. But as you ask that question to yourself, you are posing the question from your conscious mind into your subconscious mind. And that creates a neural pathway for a new answer to reveal itself to you. So this is a process where you want to begin, you want to have a beginner's mind when it comes to approaching yourself, because you are literally peeling away layers of conditioning to get to your true self. The third principle is gentleness, the art of gentleness. Now, for many of us, we were taught, if you've got a goal in life, if you want to succeed in life, you better set smart goals and you better go, do. And that is one route to success. However, the gene keys is a pathway to success through beingness, through moving slowly, through being gentle with yourself. Because as you contemplate and inquire certain aspects of yourself, remember that you're going all the way back into your childhood, into your teenagehood, into why you do certain things, that you've got to be gentle with yourself because you are essentially blooming and blossoming into a new and higher version of yourself. And then the fourth principle when we are working with the gene keys is patience. It's not an overnight process. This is a process that unlocks and unleashes in your life with time. So this is what your gene keys look like. These are actually mine, so I'll just illustrate to you over here. And as you can see here, so there are 11 spheres. Just go back, there are 11 spheres. Now, each and every one of us will have these 11 spheres. Every sphere has a number, and that essentially means a quality that we have. Every quality, as I shared, it has a shadow frequency. So here you can see for me, my shadow is unease, which is also, it can also show up as fear, experiencing a lot of fear. But that same quality within me has a gift. I've got the gift of intuition. And when I really live my life by my intuition, I unlock very deep clarity and the ability to move through life with very, very deep clarity. And there you can see that this is the line 4 as well, which is, it's kind of the line of a server. So this is actually how I'm meant to bring things across. So when you look at all the spheres in green, so here you've got your life's work, you've got your evolution, how you are meant to change, transform, evolve through life. You've got your radiance, and you've got your purpose over there. So these 4 spheres in green, they represent what is called your activation sequence, your genius sequence. This is actually your zone of genius, okay? So as an example here, you'll see I've got intuition, clarity, I've got initiative, awakening, expansion, superabundance, aspiration, ascension. So the work that I'm doing this evening is exactly what I should be doing. Bringing fresh, new, enlightening knowledge out there to people that helps them to align and awaken to their higher selves. So when you're working with your genius sequence, you're going to be working with qualities and unpacking, going deep into those qualities to unpack it and then use it to shape and transform your next career move, your elevation in leadership, your new business, if that is what you want. And then over there, you'll see all of the spheres in red, right? So you've got your purpose, your attraction, IQ, EQ, SQ, vocation. These red spheres represent the qualities in relation to love and relationships. So this is really, if you want to step into higher love in your life, and that love is it's not only about romantic relationships and partnerships, it's about self-love. It's about love for others. It's also love for the type of soulmate clients that you bring into your world, your community, your family. It opens up your emotional life so that you can live more from your heart. And then these blue spheres over here, it goes from vocation, culture, life's works, and 𝗶. This represents your highest prosperity. So these are the qualities and the energy that you want to embody that unlocks your next level of prosperity. So for example, when I was still in corporate working in sales, I was working with these 4 gene keys. I was unpacking it. I was contemplating. I was inquiring, how do these gene keys show up in my life? And that was the result of that was then me continuously overachieving and hitting those like 300, 400% of my sales attainment. Because what the systems shows you, it's how to be successful through who you are being, not necessarily what you are doing. So this system is a roadmap on how to embody your gifts, how to become more of who you are at a very deep level. And so this is a journey that elevates you from being a visionary leader into a luminary leader. Okay, and then using this information as well, you can use this information to now plan your next move in terms of like I said, your career, whether it is closing a new business, starting a new business, moving countries, starting anything that you want to do, this map will give you the information to make aligned decisions about your life. And so usually I've used this with clients as well to support them in landing their dream jobs. And I'll actually share with you a few client stories as we go along. This is just an example. This is mine. This is just a summary of one of my 𝗰𝗃𝗃𝗃 as I shared, what I'm here to do, how I'm meant to show up. And so for me, you know, I work very much by my intuition and bringing intuitive knowledge out to people. And actually a big part of my work now is intuitive leadership and supporting people on that. So that is just one example. Okay, so let's just talk about some client transformations. This over here is Tina, and Tina joined one of our 𝗰𝗃𝗃𝗃's prosperity sequence. And she said, I received so much wisdom that unlocked the kind of power that I had never been able to access before. It was one of the most transformative experiences I've ever had in my life. I saw aspects of myself that I had always intuitively known, but had been afraid to act on and tap into. So Tina also speaks about that she received the conviction to make decisions that unlocked a whole new level of prosperity and fulfillment for her now. I am now unapologetic about choosing myself. I've come to understand that true abundance and prosperity, the kind that will leave a legacy, can only come from being true to who I am. And ever since the program, she is experiencing a much more elevated, prosperous, and impactful career, and more mutually fulfilling relationships, and general overall health and well-being. Moving on to Rihanna, and Rihanna was a private client that I worked with, and in our container, as we worked through the 𝗰𝗃𝗃𝗃s, she was an entrepreneur, and she landed her first multi-million rand client. And not only is this about the money, but like she went through a whole lot of inner transformation. She has ADHD, and she saw how ADHD is actually a gift in the work that she does. And there were so many benefits from her story. And we've written a whole blog, an article, which I'm happy to share with you if you want to go deeper into it, where she really opens up and shares a bit more about the journey and what she experienced there after. And then we've got Oliver Prince, and Oliver received his first 2 high-profile keynote invitations, significantly amplifying his leadership presence and influence. He also secured a contract to host his first luxury wellness retreat for top-tier corporate clients, and was really positioning himself as a sought-after leader in the well-being space. So this luminary leadership, it's really about supporting you to anchor in that next level of light, for you to stand as a beacon of light. And whether you are working in government, business, in the creative industries, this is a process that empowers you to stand more powerfully in your light and to be able to activate people around you, the hearts, the minds, and the souls of people, to also live their life in alignment with their highest purpose. So I'm going to share with you the Luminary Leadership Activation. That is, if you feel called to actually go deeper into this work, and if you want to unpack it and work with me. So basically, the Luminary Leader Activation. So this is a starter package if you want to get started on doing this work. And this is essentially for the visionary who is at a crossroads and you're just ready to step into something new into your life and your career. And this is for you if you are wanting next level clarity, alignment, and you want to elevate your personal brand, your leadership frequency. And so what is included in the starter package is that we will actually have a 2-hour deep dive session where we will decode your complete energetic blueprint. We will dive into your 𝗰𝗃𝗃𝗃s, your human design, and also I will guide you on how to unpack that, and then how to actually make the shifts, the tweaks, the changes practically, so that it then affects your career, your business, your lifestyle, or wherever else you would want to direct this work, because this is a process that will always give you what you need, and it will meet you where you are at. So we're going to do an activation for your 4 prime gifts, and we're going to unlock the core energetic codes tied to your higher purpose, your presence, your power, and your prosperity. We're going to illuminate the way forward for your next chapter, and you will receive crystal clear clarity about what you're here to do, how you meant to do it, and where you are headed. We are going to define 4 power moves, 4 things that you can implement in your life straight away that can shift your entire life to a whole new level. We'll also do an energy clearing session. So this is where you can release any hidden resistance, self-sabotage patterns, limiting patterns that is holding you back. And you'll get a personalized action plan, and then also 7 days of Telegram integration support thereafter. And this is ongoing voice note coaching to support you in integrating this. So this is just for you if you want to get started. And that is 500 euros or 10,000 Rand if you are in South Africa. And that is how you can get started on this journey. So you weren't born to plateau at potential. You were born to rise into greater presence, personal power, and higher purpose. And this isn't just another phase in your life. It is an awakening of your soul. So say yes to your next evolution and lead from who you truly are. And so there's my email at the bottom if you would like to get in touch. I am going to open up now for questions. If you have any questions, we can dive into that as well. Otherwise, you are welcome to take down my email address and contact me afterwards if you would like to stay connected, get more information around this. So I'm just going to stop sharing. And if you have any questions, you can drop it in the chat. Okay, all right. Well, if there are no questions.
Sorry, Epsilon. Hi, this is Erica.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Can I ask?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So I have always been thinking that the answers of everything that I've always wanted to know is within myself. I'm a firm believer of that. And currently I have, exactly like you've explained in the beginning, I feel stuck. It's like something needs to change now. And strange enough, I have this pain here in my left shoulder. And everything I get, every time I get that feeling of change, then my shoulder starts to pain. So what I'm trying to ask is, why is it so hard this time? You know, I'm older now. I should be wiser. I've done many changes in the past. I've done this before. Why is it so difficult now? It's like, why can't I get over it? Just get the answer and move on.
Lovely question. But it's like, this is the journey of life, right? It's like all things in nature, we are meant to evolve and grow, and then we'll be fine for a little bit, and then another issue would come up. And this is why the journey of like personal development and mastery, it's a lifelong journey, you know. And to your point, Erica, like if you ignore something that is ready to be healed or released or being looked at, it's going to bug your physical body until you give it the attention it wants, you know. And so that is the physical body's way of saying that, hey, it's time for you to wake up and do something different. And so what you may do right now in your life is very different from what you have done in the past. And so that's why, you know, exploring and really tuning into what you need to let go of now, what you need to rise into now, that is the question, because you're certainly on that edge of making that shift in your life. And the physical ailment is just a physical sign of this.
Thank you, Ashley. No, this was really, really deep insight. Things that I think that gets you thinking about how you can be better and stuff. So I look forward to similar sessions in future as well, right? So that this is an amazing journey that you're on, yeah.
All right, thank you, 𝗶𝗵. Glad that you could join and listen in.
Oh, awesome. And yeah, okay, catch you again soon on these platforms, yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Liston says, Please, may I share a link to the blog post with the entrepreneur? Yes, let me do that. And then Nadia saying, I'm generally read as my insights report. How will this help with the gene keys, patience and gentleness? I'm just wondering, will this make it so much more difficult? So no, it won't, Nadia, because it's a very intuitive, gentle process. You know, because that's especially if you're someone who's used to doing things quickly and moving along and so forth, that this is a process that it naturally eases and opens. And like I said, it will always give you what you need and meet you where you're at. So patience and gentleness, it's a new way of unfolding and opening up to your next level. And that's why it's the principle, because so many people are in a rush. And it doesn't make the journey more difficult. It actually makes the whole process more easeful. So, okay, just quickly, listen, you want to see the blog post. Let me quickly get that for you. Otherwise, if anybody else has any questions, you're welcome to put it in the chat. Okay, here we go. And you can all just grab the link there if you want. Grab it. All right, cool. If there's no questions, thank you everybody for joining. And yeah, feel free to get in touch if you'd like to chat further. And have a beautiful evening, and just wishing you so much success in your journey. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.